Boom. We are in. We are live. We are streaming for the very first time on our brand new podcast. We are ready to go, ready to kick it off. It's the FNS podcast with your host, Chef Yaku and Angel Sekou. We got the first day of the MLB playoffs game ones in the book. So we'll be talking about that. We'll also be discussing the closing of the Oakland A's, the O.Co Coliseum. Sad moment in sports, ladies and gentlemen. But that's how we're going to kick it off. Oh, man, Angel, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing very good. How about you?
I am awesome. I'm awesome. So we had a pretty good day of baseball for our game ones. Two National League games, two American League games. Every one of those games was really good playoff substance game. Let's get right into your team, the San Diego Padres. The San Diego Padres were able to pull out a victory. What was that? 4-3,
It was 3-0.
3-0 over the Atlanta Braves. Game one of that wild card series that was at Petco down in San Diego. What do you think about the game tonight?
I'm very happy with Michael King's performance because he proved that he could do good things in tough spots. Tatis with the leadoff homer, it was just amazing. Tatis hit it far.
He had a leadoff homer.
Yeah.
How do you have it? I thought it was a 2-run.
Oh, Luis Ariz went first, and then he.
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
Okay.
Okay. So, yeah. So, how you feeling about your boys? Are you feeling confident rolling game one? Do you feel like this was a case of catching the Atlanta Braves with their kind of with their pants down? What do you think?
I feel like that this is gonna prove how strong we are in the playoffs, and if we when we beat the Atlanta Braves tomorrow, which we will, I'm very confident in that.
Okay.
It'll show how we play against the Dodgers. The Dodgers are a very good team, and recently we luckily have good history against them in the playoffs. With the last time we faced them in the playoffs, we got to face the Phillies in NLCS.
Okay. Yep. So then, boom, going there. Then we had we go up to Milwaukee where we were able to see. I'm just going to double check, make sure my score is right there. We were able to check and see Milwaukee was able to pull. I'm sorry. The Mets were able to pull off a victory in Milwaukee, 8-4. The Mets are turning into one of those teams this year in the playoffs that nobody's going to want to see. After they were dead to rights for the first, I want to say 7 innings yesterday, they were able to just put up some runs, and that kind of paid off for them today. How do you feel about the Mets Milwaukee series? What do you think about that series?
I think the Mets are going to take it because they're proving to be a team that nobody really thought they would be. I didn't expect the New York I didn't expect the New York Mets to make the postseason, let alone wait, I shouldn't. Okay, and I'm really confident in the New York Mets that they're gonna be able to also get into the NLCS, maybe even make the World Series because they're a very dangerous team right now, especially for Francisco Lindor.
All right, all right. So just checking out that bracket before we move on. Those are both our National League games. One of the games was in San Diego. Another game was in Milwaukee. So moving right along, we got our two American League games. The first game, one of the American League series or wild card series was the Detroit Tigers versus the Houston Astros. Detroit really this game looks a lot closer than it really was, but 3-1 outcome in that game. The pitching for Detroit just really showed up. I didn't think that they were going to be able to. I knew that they would, scrape with this series, but going against the Astro team that's been there, done that, been here before, it looks like they're really going to put boot to butt in that series. And I feel like that Houston is in a must win tomorrow. They have to come out, or it's going to be a pretty quick one there. Yeah. What do you feel about that series?
the the Detroit Tigers, they're also a really dangerous team because they proved themselves with making it in here. I think they might be the Houston Astros. If I may ask you though, how do you feel about your New York Yankees?
Well, we'll get up to that later. We'll get that later. We want to run through all our playoff games first. Then we'll get to later predictions and things like that. But right now we're talking Houston Astros and Tigers, which is a series that I feel like if Detroit can come out tomorrow, step on the necks of Houston and get up early in some runs, it's going to really tighten up that Houston team. And I think they might be able to finish off that series. What do you think that series? Which way do you think that series is going to go?
I think it's gonna go for Detroit. Um I think it's gonna go good for Detroit. Detroit's gonna move on. They're gonna face Cleveland, and yeah.
All right. So then that leads us to our next wild card, AL wild card game. That was the Kansas City Royals versus the Baltimore Orioles. Kansas City pulled that one out 1-0. We had a little drama at the bottom of the ninth, man on base, but Baltimore just wasn't able to score a run. It was a beautifully pitched game on both sides. How do you feel about Baltimore in this playoff? I mean, they weren't able to put up any runs. They were kind of sputtering at the end of the season. What do you feel about the Baltimore Orioles?
They were hot at the beginning of the season, mid-season. Then it feels like after the All-Star break, they kind of just died down a little bit. So I think Kansas City, they're a really dangerous team going against another really dangerous team, but has died down more. So Kansas City might take this one.
All right, so you got Kansas City moving on. So now, um, we go into predictions for tomorrow's games. So just starting off, we'll just kind of back off. We got Kansas City, Baltimore game 2 tomorrow. How do you think this game? Actually, let me go ahead and pull up. Let's pull up and find out what our starters are tomorrow. So we can get into this. So let's go ahead and go to. Let's check out what the starters are going to look like for tomorrow's games, and then we'll be able to make our predictions. So we got Wednesday the 2nd. First game is 11:30 a.m. on ABC. We have the Detroit Tigers versus the Houston Astros at Minute Maid Park. Looks like we got Helton going for Detroit, and we got Brown going for Houston. How do you feel about that game?
I think Houston's gonna win that one because I know Brown is definitely being a better pitcher than who did you say was pitching?
Helton,
Yeah,
Holton.
I've never heard of him, but I have heard of Hunter Brown, the pitcher for the Houston Astros, and he is a good pitcher. He has a lot of good pitches that he really knows how to throw. So I think that Houston is going to take that one if they can keep it steady.
All right, I'm gonna go with Detroit with this one. I feel like Detroit's just coming in too hot of a team. Um, I don't think that they're scared by playing in such a crazy place like Minute Maid. I don't think they're listening to any noise, and I got Detroit wrapping this series up tomorrow at that 11:30 game. So I got Detroit going. You got it going 3 games that series.
Yeah, I got it going games.
All right. Then moving on, we got our 1:30 p.m. game, which will be the Kansas City Royals going against the Baltimore Orioles. This is at Orioles Camden Park. We got Seth Lugo going against Zach Eflin. How do you feel about this? What do you feel about this game?
Seth Lugo has definitely stepped up this year. So I think Kansas City might be the winners for this game, but I think the Orioles are going to take this.
Well, if Kansas City wins tomorrow, so the series is done.
Oh.
Being that it's a best of 3. So.
Oh wait,
Yeah, so I got the Royals taking this series as well. I feel like the young Royals are catching the Orioles at the right time. I feel like they're going to be able to do what they need to do to finish this team off. Get a little bit of rest before that next series that they got, which is going to be a really tough one for them. So I think Seth Lugo's going to come out, give him some strong innings. I got him going 5 or 6 tomorrow. Really holding the Orioles down. I'm not saying they won't score any runs, but I don't see them putting up more than 3 runs on Seth. I feel like the Royals going to come out tomorrow. I see Salvi Perez, Witt Jr. just really taking over, outshining this game. I see the Royals taking this game and taking the series tomorrow. I got 2 series finishing tomorrow in the American League. Moving over, then we got those Mets versus those Brewers. We got the 4:30 game that's going to be on ESPN. That's at American Family Field. We got Shamanai versus Frankie Montas. These are 2 pitchers that both used to be on our teams. Frankie Montas with me, Shamanai with you. So these are 2 pitchers that we're fairly familiar with. I, listen. I hate to say this, being a New York fan and being a fan of the Yankees and having my little stepbrothers from Crosstown, the Mets. It's hard to say this, but I really got the Mets taking this. After seeing the Mets basically come back from the dead, and that game against Atlanta yesterday in a doubleheader, I really feel like the Mets are on a almost a collision course for the AL champions. I mean the NLCS. I feel like they're going to handle pretty much anybody's in the way, and it's just going to get to a dogfight with them. And I see the Mets beating the Brewers tomorrow. I see a really good. I see a good outing from both of these pitchers. Feel like they're going to keep the ball in the park. We won't see a lot of home runs in this game, but I definitely see the Mets keeping this scoring alive and taking this one tomorrow. So I see another series finish tomorrow. How do you feel about it?
I totally agree with you because I think the Mets are coming in super hot, red hot, and the Brewers, I don't think they can handle the Mets. So, yeah, and I totally agree with you. The But everything, yeah, everything said what I was thinking.
All right, all right. Now moving on to our 5:30 game on ESPN2. We got the Atlanta Braves versus San Diego Padres. This one is at Petco, San Diego, California. We got Max Fried going against Joe Musgrove. This one is going to be big. This is, I mean, honestly, if we're looking at the pitching matchups for the day, this one is definitely the biggest name pitching matchups that we're going to see. It's going to be a nice day out there in San Diego. I think both of these pitchers are going to come in locked in. Max Fried back against the wall. I think this isn't too big of a moment for him. The guy has a World Series under his belt, so I don't feel like this is too big. Although I like the Padres in this series, I feel like the Braves get their feet back under him. I got them taking tomorrow's game. I can see this being a very tightly contested game, and but I see Atlanta being able to get to Musgrove, and then the Padres being able to kind of keep the game close because their bullpen is really good. But I got the Braves taking game 2 tomorrow. How do you feel about this series? How do you feel about tomorrow's game?
I think the Padres are going to take it because Joe Musgrove, okay, he hasn't been doing that well pitching this year, but I think the batters can definitely back him up because they have a solid lineup full of rock stars and people who can hit the ball a long way. And with Luis Ariz, he's been doing amazing, hasn't struck out since the All Star break. So it's just, I think the Padres are going to take them all and be able to face the Dodgers.
He struck out twice since the All-Star break.
Yeah.
Yeah. But let's get it right. We don't want to give the people fake stats and then they out there and be telling us that we're not doing a very good job. So we want to keep our stats right. We're not at big time yet. We got a stack fact guy that can check the facts and make sure our stats are right. But we definitely are going to be able to do that. So just to recap of the games tomorrow, we got Tigers versus Astros tomorrow. It's going to be a really good one. Let me start just by saying I feel like every one of these games is going to be a very good game tomorrow. There will be no blowouts. There will be no teams that really get ran off the field. I feel like we're going to see really close games. One of the great stats that I saw that I listened to on the radio today was that the distance between the first place teams and the last place teams in the playoffs is no more than 10 games between the top and the bottom. And that means that we got a really good balanced playoff schedule basically, where teams are really evenly matched and balanced. One team's power might be another team's, they just balance out really well in the playoffs. So I think we're going to see some really good games tomorrow. We'll be back tomorrow with another show. We'll probably be live during the San Diego Padres game, and then we'll kind of go into that. We'll have a full host of our we'll go full in detail of our bracket. Tomorrow we'll get those finishes filled out and have a full detail of that. But before we end, I think it's only right that we show a little bit of respect and give a little respect to a place that if you live outside the Bay Area, it might not be that much to you, but if you live in the Bay Area, from the Bay Area, the Oakland Coliseum saw its last game last Thursday. The last game ever played there was Texas Rangers versus the Oakland A's. Sold out crowd. I was in attendance. You was in attendance the night before the game before. What was it feeling like going to that Oakland Stadium and being there knowing that was the last series? What was going through your head?
It was just so sad because I've been going to their games. I've been going to Yankee series with you. I've been seeing multiple games there, so it just really breaks my heart to see the one of the teams that are closest to us, one of the teams that we love, move. And it was just taken away because of Fisher.
Yeah.
If Fisher just took it away from us because he just wanted to be rich.
Well, it was just horrible politics. I think it looks like as we dig deeper into this, it seemed like it was a whole coy and a whole plan by MLB and some of the other owners to kind of get the team out of Oakland to make it more profitable for themselves and whoever was in dealing with it. I think it was just a pretty bad deal from the beginning. People may not notice, but Oakland A's fans are some of the realest fans in baseball. Some of the dopest fans you ever meet. I remember when I first moved out here over 20 years ago, going to first games. My first games, I always thought it was such a big difference between games at the Coliseum and back then was considered or called Pac Bell Park. It just was a little stuffy. A lot of Giants games were a little stuffy. Not saying they weren't fun, but they were a little bit more stuffy than A's games. So I really love the realness of going to an A's game and just knowing you were going to be amongst baseball fans, real baseball fans, and it was really dope. Pretty heartbreaking. I got a chance to talk with a lot of parents there. Anytime I saw a father that was there with their kid, I always stopped them and went up to them and just say, "Hey, what does this mean for you?" And also just like, what now? Do you guys follow the team in Sacramento next year? After that, is it on to Vegas? Do you drop the team? Do you become a Niner fan? What happens? I mean, a Giants fan. What happens? And one of the fathers really gave me a really touching response. He kind of just looked me in the eyes and just said, "I'm sick of it. I'm done. They've been taking it away from us, and they expect us to chase them around and take them." He said his fanhood stops there, and that was the last day. And he hadn't even explained it to his son yet. His son was kind of paying attention to all the things, the distractions in the background. But he said, "Yeah, I haven't told him yet." That was a pretty touching moment. It was pretty touching. So yeah, it was it's pretty sad. So if you guys, anybody out there watching, you know, A's fan, make sure to hug A's fan. Tell an A's fan you love them because they're some pretty good people. Pretty good people. Pretty awesome people.
There's so many memories in that ballpark. I just remember running down the aisles with my sister trying to go catch a ball from the outfielders.
Yeah.
No, I can't even do that no more because you can't do that at Oracle. And if you do, it's a large crowd.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just sad.
It's okay though. It's absolutely okay. We'll find another place. Maybe we'll just hit some games up in Vegas. I'll get a chance to get on that roulette, and maybe we'll have a little bit of fun in Vegas. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, you got something to say? Go ahead.
It's definitely gonna be a fun trip up there.
Yeah, we'll definitely be we'll be going to Vegas. We're hoping that I'm gonna be real. Show this podcast to as many people as you can. Show this to as many friends and family as you can. Anybody that likes baseball. We'll get into other sports, but right now we're gonna be concentrating on baseball. We might do a Saturday morning before some of the football games, give a picks there. But we're gonna be coming to you guys with some real hot, fresh stuff, and I think we're gonna give a great perspective. Me being a old ass man and you being my young son, I think we're gonna give a great perspective for people to be able to see, hey, baseball from two perspectives, but a love and commonality is the same. So thank you guys for tuning in. I want to thank everybody for checking us out. Anybody that's going to see this, anybody that plays it back. If you think this cool, or even if you don't, like, follow, subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time.
See you guys later.
All right.